Hello everybody, my name is Nemo and we're playing some more Magic with that fairy pile. Let's keep this hand and see how this goes. We have a 2-drop, a 3-drop and a 4-drop, and we have an unsummon for our 1 mana, but obviously that's not really a 1-drop because I probably don't want to cast it turn 1. We also drew a Pestermite here, so that's pretty nice. One thing about this deck is there's a lot of 3-drops, and I would have liked to have some more early, some more 1-drops. I think would have been nice just to be able to actually cast Spellstarter Sprite earlier. Be able to keep up with your opponent's land drops and counter basically anything, but fortunately you can't always do that. Alright, so I think the play here is to play Pestermite on his turn and tap one of his lands, see if he has a counterspell for that. Nope, apparently not. Is he going to unsummon it? I would not be opposed to that. That wouldn't be bad for me. Still gets to play a 1-drop though. Okay. So let's draw a land. Yes, great. Alright, so we can just unsummon the bear and Pestermite his land yet again. That seems good to me. He didn't drop a land, did he? No, he didn't. Okay, so that's very good. I can also Pestermite his bear. No. I think it's gonna be pretty useful to tap down his lands so he can play his guys. Because then if I get enough dudes out before he can start playing his stuff, then I can actually counter it with Spellstarter Sprite. He did drop a land this turn. And we're going to kill the bear with Unsummon. You can't stop that. And let's see if he has something to drop this turn. Nothing, great. I get to untap. Okay, let's get in for 2. Yeah, let's get in for 2. And I do have this Fairy Imposter if I want to reuse the Pestermite later on, but for now I think I just want to drop Briarberry Cohort. And have Spellstarter Sprite open for 3 mana. As in I can then counter anything for 3 converted mana cost or less. He does have 4 lands, so I may not be able to counter what he plays. But hopefully I will. Nope, I can't counter that. That is a shame. But I will be able to Fairy Imposter my Pestermite and kill that. So that's pretty good. Or I could just play another Pestermite. Sure, I'll do that. That also seems good to me. That's a way of killing that. No lords yet though. Yeah, if you wanted to Force of Will that, you're a little late. Alright, let's get in for some damage. And I'll probably end up dropping the Fairy Imposter this turn to pick up another Pestermite, so I can reuse it later. That seems good enough for me. And pass the turn back to him, and I've got 6 power on the board. He really needs to start doing something. That is okay, but I don't think it's gonna be good enough. No land. Oh, that's actually great. I'll play that. So I was thinking I could play Scion of Una and have 3 power with all my guys. I kind of like this play better. You can totally just unsummon it, but that means he has to, you know, waste time getting rid of that. And then next turn I can just Pestermite his blocker, and I'm pretty close to having lethal at that point. Even if he does deal with the Sower of Temptation. And I mean, his way of dealing with it is, I guess, just an unsummon, and then I can just replay it. Yeah, that doesn't do anything. Okay, unsummon. So he only has 1 mana at this point. He unsummons that. I still have lethal. You would think he'd unsummon the Sower. I have Lethal now, so... And I have a Spellstutter Sprite that can counterspell his unsummoned. So yeah, I mean... There we go. Unless he had Force of Will, nothing was gonna... There was no way of him actually surviving that turn. So there's a win. There's a win against Jace. Kept him busy long enough to grab the win, and that's basically what this deck does. It interrupts your opponent's plans. It, does some annoying things to them, and eventually gets in enough damage to win before they actually are able to play out their hand. And that's, the power of this deck. That's what's good about it. So, let's get into another game. I'll see you then. And welcome back. We've got a 1-land hand. This is not terrible, but I don't like it. We get a free mulligan, so let's make use of it. And what? I think this is the only card that's different from the previous hand. Wow. Okay, let's keep this then. That was really weird. I just basically got the same hand again. How does that happen? Like, what are the odds? Huh. Really strange. So we're looking at another mono blue deck, I think. Presumably the same deck I'm playing, because I'm holding the same land that's on the board on his side there. So we could be having a mirror match here. And him going first is actually a pretty big advantage to him. This deck, if it's going first, you have... it's a lot more powerful if this deck goes first. But it's still a very powerful deck, even if it doesn't, so... He's playing a bit slow. What's he doing? Oh, it's not the same deck. It is the mirror. Is this Unfinished Business? Is this the other Demir deck? Who knows, right? Who knows? It looks like Unfinished Business to me. It looks like Savio has some unfinished business with me. And he'd like to exact some revenge. Darn you, Inspector Gadget! What? Passing the turn. Okay. Come on now. Ain't nobody got time for that. Okay. So we can't really play anything here unless I want to counterspell a Reanimate or something with Spellstutter Sprite. Seems like we're just waiting for 3 mana so you can drop Pestamite, start actually doing something. And he's passing the turn again. I'm thinking he's got something he wants to reanimate at some point here. So what I'm going to do... let's see here. I'm going to tap down his swamp this turn. And that would be a lot better if I could tap down the swamp next turn. But he probably would just drop another swamp. If he really is going for the reanimate plan, dropping something in the graveyard this turn. But I just want this guy down right now, so I can actually Spellstutter Sprite and Exhume or Reanimate, whichever. I can actually deal with it with Spellstutter Sprite, so that's gonna be nice for me. And yep, there's something in the graveyard right there. So, what we can also do is play the Faerie Imposter, picking up this guy and actually tap down his swamp. That would also be interesting, but that's the danger of that is that he just drops another swamp. But it's still good to just pick up the Pestamite here. And most likely I'll be Spellstutter Spriting something. I guess the danger is him playing the O2 guy that can turn into a dude in the graveyard. Nope. Okay, that's not happening. We've got to reanimate too. Yep, that just screws over his... Basically, he spent 3 turns trying to do this. So, unless he's got to reanimate here as well, then I kind of really screwed him over just by playing that Spellstutter Sprite here. And it looks like he doesn't have a reanimate. Yeah, that really sucks for him. That is pretty bad for him. There's so much value in that Spellstutter Sprite there. And look at this. We can now play the Glenelendra Archmage and actually counterspell a non-creature spell with it. Alternatively, and I think I like that play better, I can Pestamite his island and then still have Spellstutter Sprite open. So let's go ahead and do that. What you gonna do about it? What you gonna do? Yeah, that is a long sad pause. That is a long sad pause right there. Tap her down. So in real Magic I wouldn't be able to do this on his main phase, but the only difference is I would do this on his upkeep, so he still wouldn't be able to play any sorcery speed spells. And that guy is also not hitting play. Unfortunate for you. You're not getting out your Extractor Demon. And I have to drop the Archmage to protect from, living death. But the danger of that is that I walk right into the other spell that he can just cycle. So that is a little bit unfortunate. And it's pretty much a lot of overextending, but it does keep me safe from 2 of his mass removal spells, and the other 2 I'm not safe from. But I have an unsummon at least, so I can get 1 card back. That's not the greatest, but oh well. Painful Quandary or something like that. That's the card. Does he even have the 5th land for it? I doubt it. He hasn't played it yet. So it looks like I'm in the clear. And he just dies. I mean, yeah, that just screws him over so bad that he spent all those turns trying to get the Extractor Demon, and it just isn't happening. I mean, that's kind of the problem when you're trying to do stuff like that. Yeah, no problem. You're dead. Right? 3, 5, 6, 8. Okay, we've got 8. Right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can draw a card. So I haven't killed him yet. Well, what I can do is just unsummon the 2/2. And I'll probably go ahead and do that. Or, nah, there's not really a need for it. I mean, he can get back Extractor Demon, but then he still dies, so I don't think I need to worry about the 2/2 too much. And if he plays, if he tries and to get something in his graveyard, I can always respawn by unsummoning. And by that I mean something in the graveyard that actually deals with my board position, which I believe there's nothing actually. So I guess he can drop Swamp, Imp, discard, like Runescar Demon. No, yeah, and then no, then he's still missing 1 land, so that's not gonna work. Okay, well, let's just get in there. I don't need to drop more on the board at this point. That would just be walking right into the Painful Quandary at that point. So let's not do that. Well, let's just pass the turn here. Because I was thinking he could like get the Runescar Demon in the graveyard for 1 mana, then use this for 1 mana, get the Runescar Demon out, grab Painful Quandary, but then he only has 4 more lands, even if he drops land here, so, and he's still missing a land to actually deal with my board situation, so he kind of needs to have, I'm gonna let this happen, I don't care. I don't care, you can have your Extractor Demon. Or your other guy, whatever. And reanimate, fine, sure. Still don't need to worry about this. He actually kills himself with reanimate too. Didn't even realize that. Okay, so I guess that was on purpose. So let's do a rematch then. GG. And yeah, that's what happens. That's what happens when you spend 3 turns trying to do something and it doesn't work. And then you spend another trillion turns trying to do it again and it still doesn't work. That's what happens. This hand isn't the greatest, but I think it's playable. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep it. He starts this time, so that's really good for him. Because that means, well, if I draw the 2-mana counterspell, the one that counts how many fairies I have on the board, and he plays reanimate, I'm still a turn late. Yeah, I'm still a turn late to prevent his reanimate here. That is the problem. But we do have his Sower of Temptation to grab whatever he reanimates, and that's pretty good. I mean, it's gotta happen now, though, because... Well, I guess if he has Exhume, it doesn't have to happen now. But if it's reanimated, it has to happen now. River Kelpie. You don't see this card a lot. So he's going to draw a card here from doing this. And it does have Persist. And it's going to be kind of an engine for him, so that's pretty good for him. Now it's going to be two more turns until I can actually do something, so he should be pretty happy here. And it's also not something that's really worth playing Sower of Temptation for me. So yeah, that's one of the better targets, I think, at this point. Runescar Demon also would have been pretty good, just because he gets a tutor from it, even if I do get to deal with it later. So we pass the turn here and see what else he can do. Of course, he could have dealt a lot of damage with a bigger guy, but I don't know, the unblockable dude would have been pretty good. I do get to Pestermite it, of course, a turn and then the turn later. Sower of Temptation, so I wouldn't die from that, so... I mean, I guess just having the Sower of Temptation in this scenario is just very good for me. An Unsummon wouldn't be a bad draw, by the way. I'll also deal with this scenario. He's stuck on 2 mana. Is he really stuck on 2 mana? Well, I don't suppose he has a 1 mana play he would like to make. I mean, all he could play for 1 mana is Reanimate, and there's nothing in any graveyard, so... Yeah, that's not gonna happen. Well, since he is stuck at 2 mana, I'm going to Pestermite his Swamp here. And hope he didn't draw another Swamp that he can now play. And that should mean he can't really play anything this turn, and the next turn I can Spell Stutter whatever he does bring out if he's still stuck on 2 mana at that point. His Pestermites are so good. Pestermite all of a sudden. All of a sudden. Question is, do I trade here? Yeah, okay. Looks like I don't need to ask myself that question. I think there would have been some sense in trading there, but... So he did draw his third land. Unfortunately for him, it's not a swamp. So let's attack for 2 here. And we'll play the Briarberry Cohort. So we still have the Spellstutter sprite open. What? We're gonna play Undermine for 2 mana? What could he even have for 2 mana? I'd like to know that. Like, why is he pausing there? Is he just reading the card? Oh, he's going to draw a card here. That's what's going on. Oh, he's using Putrid Imp. Okay, well that's a thing too. Yeah, unless you're using Living Death to get that out, it's probably not gonna happen. Next turn I'll have this guy down, and then with this guy I'll have 4 dudes down, but that's not enough to counter spell Living Death, so that would be a problem. Yeah, I would definitely block there now. No, let's say go here. I am down to 9, so I should care about this. I could also just take his big demon. But then if he has a Doomblade, that's pretty bad. Reanimate. It's gonna hit him for 4. For 9, I mean. See, the problem is that I can't, take his guy and have counter magic up for Doomblade. So I think I need to play this right now. Otherwise, that would have been great, staking his demon. But I wouldn't feel safe doing that right now. And Exhume. Okay, well, looks like we're going for that anyways. And hopefully he doesn't have a kill spell. Well, this way it doesn't cost him life, so it's pretty good on him to play the Reanimate first. So now he didn't take the damage. He draws a card, of course, from his River Kelpie. We could also Pestamite this guy, get in for 5 damage, but I'm taking 4 back. That's not good enough just yet, so let's hope this works. I guess I could take a turn to play Glenlander Archmage first and have that open, but that means I have to chump block with a dude. Let's just hope he doesn't have a removal spell for my Sower of Temptation. And if he does, this guy still comes in with Summoning Sickness at least. And he's down to 13. There's nothing in his graveyard, so Living Death wouldn't be a total blowout. Would be pretty good for him though. I mean, this guy has Persist. They would come back as 2/2. Looks like he's stuck on 4 mana though, which would really suck for him if he has Living Death in hand and now he just dies because he's stuck at 4 mana and he can't play it. Another thing that would be insane for him is Decree of Pain. That's the card, Decree of Pain. What the heck was I calling it earlier? I don't even remember. Alright, he's going to... He can't... there's nothing for 1 blue mana in his deck, is there? I don't think so, so that means he's just dead. That means I win. Right, is there anything for 1 blue mana? No. No, there isn't. There just isn't anything. He can't play anything, so that's the game. Guess he could draw a card if I block here, so I shouldn't block the River Kelpie. Yeah, so I definitely shouldn't block the River Kelpie, and he definitely should attack with the River Kelpie. Although again, I mean, I guess he could then maybe exhume the Runescar Demon if he gets a Swamp. And he has Exhume, which is very unlikely at this point. Because then he would have just discarded with this guy and exhumed the Runescar Demon. And yeah, let's just get in there and kill him. GG. GG, GG. All the GGs. Okay, well, he got something done this game, but it wasn't enough. The Faerie Deck came to the rescue and won this game for me, and the player has quit the game because he didn't like getting beat. My name's been Nemo. My name will still be Nemo in the next video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and see you then. Thanks for watching.